I've been investing for over 11 years now, and I've lived through many boom and bust cycles, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. But there's that one feeling that always makes me want to slow down a little bit in the moment. It's not fear, obviously not. It's more the fact that when everything starts to feel like it's easy, it's obvious. And that feeling is starting to show up again now, especially when we look at the likes of gold and silver rallying to the moon. And it's never what people really think, because I've seen it over and over again. I'm going to talk about it in this video, so feel free to like the video and subscribe, because I'm going to reveal a couple of truths about investing from a longer term point of view, because there's a lot of new people coming around. There's a lot of new accounts on Instagram, on TikTok, showcasing their journey of investing in stuff that's at all-time highs. It happens every single cycle, and then we'll have a flush, and then they'll vanish, and then you're left holding the bags. Let's talk about the obvious phase first and foremost, because we're on commodities, okay? We're going to go with it. We're going to roll with it, so stick with me. This is where there's confidence everywhere. And already we're looking at gas, uranium, and all these kind of wonderful things. Then you go into the metals, which is becoming bonkers. Yeah, year on year, year to date, whoa, what the hell? It's all going mad. And normally when we talk about stuff like this, gold and silver doesn't do this. It doesn't normally do this anyways. And the last time it did this was in 2008. I know. So we have to be very, very mindful of that. And I do talk about it, and I don't want to be a dick about it, but when people start documenting journeys of their gold investments from, say, a couple of months ago, why weren't you buying at $2,000? Why weren't you buying lower than that, right? For me, I don't buy into metals. I'm not really into them. I'm into crypto versus, say, metals, and I'd rather have dividend-paying stocks. Everyone's different, right? That's fine. But for those people coming into the market, it will feel repeatable, that winning is good and it's going to always happen. These markets don't always go forever. They may look like it zooming out, but when you look at it from a mental, psychological point of view, it's bloody hard work. And I can do content about, well, this is what my portfolio will look like. Will I live through that? I don't know. Whether I get rattled out or not, I don't know. But the one thing that you always need to do, and you will get this from experience, is understand that capital preservation is absolutely key. And one thing that I will say is that experience will always showcase itself after conditions change. Sometimes you'll find in a bullish market, it's very, very easy. Sometimes in a bearish market, it can be also very easy. When it turns, look at the cryptocurrency chart for Bitcoin here. We're in a bear market. People don't want to admit that, but it's been in a bear market for a while. What am I doing? I'm looking to buy lower. Experience. You just get used to it. And the thing is, right, we could talk about experience and accountability and performance. I see it on X all the time. People talking about their portfolio going, it's doing really bad today, because obviously yesterday was quite a topsy-turvy day. But this isn't a criticism, but realistically, that's fine to talk about it. But the situation is, there's a load of new, brand new creators coming in. This happens in every single hype cycle, right? It happened in crypto many, many times. It's happened every single cycle for that. It's happening now for this. This is the thing. Bull markets will always reward people who stay, who will be in multiple bull and bear markets. Now, within the term of the traditional markets, it's harder to kind of quantify that, because they have a lot less bear markets and bull markets, right? That's the thing. And experience isn't about returns. It's actually about behaving under pressure. And more importantly, right, capital preservation. You can pick the right asset but lose it all. You can pick the worst asset and still manage to survive, which is the way it is. But most people don't actually realize this. And you can look at my own portfolio here. What is your behavior like under pressure? When the market introduces horrendous returns and red candles, how do you perform? Well, how do you know? If you're following, as I say, yourself who's new, or a brand new content creator who's new, you're going to struggle, because how can you navigate if they can't? And what do we have here? Well, we have gold, right? And I know this chart looks messy. I should probably start this again. Let's just remove the shite. Let's be honest, because this is mental. This looks like a blow off top, and I'm going to do some analysis and showcase it. And if you're interested in TradingView, there's a link to this. You get money off and you can get a free account. But if you want to get all the data and information, get on TradingView. The one thing about all this is obviously gold has taken all the limelight. It really has. And it isn't so much the signal of this is a bull market. It's more the signal that something could be going wrong in the next couple of months or years, right? Gold is a hard asset. it's not really an investment. It's more of a hedge against the fiat system, right? That's kind of the top and bottom of it. That's what Bitcoin is too. It isn't working for Bitcoin. It's in a bearish cycle. The reality is here, this has gone up parabolic. It's gone euphoric levels. And when, as I say, when risk assets feel easy and gold is super strong, that's when there's kind of a bit of tension in the air going, well, why? Why is that happening? What's happening? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the dollar is dropping massively right now. Mr. Trump wants to get rid of Jerome Powell from the Fed. That would become a problem because he wants to replace him with someone who wants to cut rates massively. That could lead to higher inflation and more quantitative easing and an artificial pump. People are flapping. And silver is down 15% as well. People are going to get absolutely bludgeoned by these kind of results. It's just the reality of it currently. That is it. That is euphoric behavior right there. So this video could be perfect timing. We could be getting a blow off top here. But let's talk, as I said before, a bit of analysis, because when you start looking, for example, at stuff like this, and what you need to do realistically, it's quite hard to kind of quantify this in a way. What we're looking for is like the previous levels. So let me get a better gold chart up. What I would look for realistically is the big obvious high, which was 2011, and we went into a massive bearish correction all the way down here, right? So when I use like the Fibonacci retracement tool, I want to see the extension levels. And what you see very, very clearly here is technically this massive extension level from God knows, it's gone there. It's rejected every single one. This might be a local top. It could be pulling back. There will be people doing content right now saying, well, gold's going to go to like $50,000 right now. It's probably impossible for a long, long time. But something would majorly break if that has happened. But that's the thing. Risk assets. We have to be, as investors, careful when stuff like this happens. You can't just go balls deep into it because there might be a collapse. We could be seeing it right now. So we have to be very, very mindful of that. And another thing that is kind of a bit wild is the fact that the FTSE and the European market is absolutely, for the first time in a long time, outperforming the US market. Capital rotation has happened without any headlines. No one's talking about it. It's mad. And like my stock market portfolio is doing amazing versus it. And that also makes me want to itch my teeth because I think it's a bit weird. Leadership changes are happening. People are looking at US stocks a little bit differently because of the Magnificent Seven. They're like, that's a bit toppy. Why would I want to buy that? That's a massive weight of it. And that's one of the main reasons why the S&P realistically has done actually, I would argue, pretty poor over 2025 versus its other markets. And it looks all right on the screen, but I think it only went up at 8% over the course of 2025, which is actually quite low versus what it normally would have been over that time period, especially when you consider gold and other bits and pieces. So yeah, it's a little bit of a worry. And yeah, just be mindful of it. And I've already alluded to it. The dollar, the DXY, the dollar is looking pretty awful. And I feel like this is all kind of by design. I think the tariffs get people in at tariffs at really high dollar levels and crash the dollar. It would work for them in that way, kind of, because they're going to lose out with the FX effect. But this is crazy because normally when this goes down, it's bullish for everything. Risk appetite, boom. But we haven't really had it in crypto. We haven't really had it in, say, the S&P, the NASDAQ currently. Obviously, gold's been on a bit of a euphoric run, but that's a bit different. So makes you wonder why this is happening. So this isn't about calling any tops or we're going into a bearish period, but it's all about being aware of the conditions because you don't want to be going balls to the wall on stuff that, well, actually could be just nuking itself. And yeah, I will talk about what you should be doing and you probably should know about it. Because even with my own portfolio, what I am doing, I am not going to panic. I'm not going to overhaul my portfolio. I'm not going to chase late moves. Oh, because silver looks good now, it's come down a little bit. You don't change your plans, right? I said it before, I am not into metals. I probably won't be. Maybe when I'm a bit older, if I'm looking to preserve my wealth, maybe. But Bitcoin's my growth engine. We're in a bear market. I've already sold. I've sold a long time ago. I've got my profit. I'm looking to rebuy back low to get more units and then we'll grow. I do not want to flip-flop. This is my long-term portfolio. I will be dollar cost averaging nice and slowly, getting my money in because this will pay me income as well. If I just stop and stand still, even if the values go down, I'm looking at the income side of it. That is my portfolio metric. That is my long-term plan. So yeah, preparation will always be predictions. You can't predict markets. If anyone tells you other than that, you can't do it, right? And you need to be very, very mindful of that situation. However, there is one thing that I am going to do, and I'm going to talk about it now, because if you know this from my Instagram or my TikTok, I am doing a challenge. And this challenge is going to be pay off my mortgage through my advert revenue on YouTube when I get monetized on TikTok and probably Instagram, Facebook. It's my side hustle fun money. I don't really care about what I get paid on YouTube and stuff because it's not really a lot. But what I'm going to do, because this market may be a little bit more sketchy coming forward, why not use that reality of getting paid to overpay on my mortgage? There's a link below to this. You get some free monies. It's going to be on Dragon's Den, I believe, next week, potentially. You will probably hear about this now. And this is just, I'm not getting paid to promote this. I'm just saying that you can use my link and you will get money. I will get a little bit as well. But ultimately, you can use this for shopping. You can use this to overpay your mortgage through everyday things instead of investing it. If you are thinking, oh my God, the pressure's getting a bit much for me to invest every single month, why not overpay on your mortgage and save a little bit of interest? I know it's boring. I know it's that situation, but it may well save 3 years on your mortgage. It might well give you a bit of financial freedom later on in life. So yeah, I'm going to document it on my short form content. So my YouTube shorts, my Instagram, my TikTok. If you want to follow along, you'll start to see content about it on however many episodes I do on it. But there we go. I think I'm somewhat done. Obviously, if you've not yet done so, check out my website. I am adding a load of content on here now in terms of articles from my videos, calculators, tools, stuff, widgets, the lot. It's all coming. Check it out. It's free to subscribe. You don't have to pay anything. There's not going to be any paid tools on here for a long, long time by the sounds of it. But I will be talking quite a lot on this website about investment strategies, experience, other bits and pieces. So yeah, check it out. There's also a link below to that. But the biggest problem we have is probably confidence without experience. And I see it all the time. I have friends that message me and ask me, should I buy this? Honestly, you wouldn't have my phone goes off so many times. But yeah, when things feel a bit too obvious, it's probably time just to kind of sit back and look at the bigger picture, because normally, and I say it top signals all the time, if you want to take a screenshot of your portfolio and put it in your group chat, maybe it's time to take a little bit off the table. Maybe I've done so, and you are worried about any sort of taxation stuff, there's a tax video here. If you're in a general investing account, you may need to look at it.